Aston Villa 0, Brentford 0. Real deflating and disappointing day at the office. Let's hear what the fans have got to say. Noah, don't know what to say really other than poor. How did you see it?
Awful. Really crap, wasn't it? Just yeah, it was. There's no excuse for that. No excuse whatsoever.
Really disappointing, wasn't it? I mean, we come here with full of hope and enthusiasm, a bit like the match over there last season. I think it was the first game just after the transfer window shut, and we thought, oh brilliant, we've got Horahan, Lansbury, and we're all sitting there and we're all hoping, and then we get kind of homers, and it was a bit like that today. Coming here like, yes, come on now, the season starts now, let's do it. And that was terrible, wasn't it? Really disappointing.
It was poor. It was really poor. I think the only positive from it is that we didn't lose, because it was just sheer want, and Brentford wanted it and they come at us. A lot of teams should be coming in here scared, but the ground itself isn't enough to put other teams off. We've got to go at them and we've got to attack them.
Throughout the whole week, myself and my friend, we've been optimistic about this game. We've been excited about the game, and it's an anti-climax, to say the least. It was just shocking. The performance, the first half was absolutely atrocious. One of the worst 3 games I've actually been to at Villa Park. And the second half wasn't much better, slightly better, but this month is huge for us. September, we've got 6 championship games. We need a minimum of 12 points. We've drew today, expected to win, so that means it puts pressure on the Middlesbrough match now.
Oh, I wish I'd never seen it. Oh, 90 minutes of absolute hell. We actually played in claret and blue, actually passed to each other, like Brentford actually 2/3 of the way to the pitch. Absolutely bossed us, owned us. Ryan Woods, yet again, 3rd game in a row now playing with us. Absolutely owned Villa Park today. Passed it around. That's the play we should be buying. That's the play we should be passing the ball. Whelan, we wear claret and blue. Whelan, please pass the ball to a Villa player. We like the ball to go to a Villa player, not to Brentford, and then actually look like we're going to get stuffed 5-0 against Brentford.
It was lacklustre, to be honest. I mean, I feel like the formation was wrong, because because Whelan was playing around, because he was quite of slow when his passing was kind of slow, and every time he passed the ball was backwards. But like, I feel like we should change formation, like 4-4-2, have 2 forwards up front, because I feel like Davis was isolated a lot. I know he's young as well, and he's trying his best really.
We just stand there. We just don't pass it. We don't do anything. No one wants it. Like, second half, fair play, Andre Green. He got the ball and ran. He was positive with it a little bit, but it's just all the rest of the team, they were looking for Green because no one else wanted to take it up, and it's just pathetic, really, isn't it?
There was no midfield, nobody closing the opposition down. There was no pressure, no urgency, and it looked like they didn't care at all.
We had a few good sparks. Like, I feel like our team can progress, but like, we can't do it without our key players like Codger and Jedina.
The defence were lacking, midfield was lacking, Whelan was awful, and Bree was awful. Didn't really see nothing positive from the outfield players at all.
It's Steve Bruce's, I would argue, his biggest managerial month he's ever had in his career, and he starts like that. He's fluffed his lines. He's done. I'm sorry, he's done here. Done.
This month is huge for Steve Bruce. I mean, I think he's at 6 points after 6 games. I think we had that at this point last year, 6 points after 6, I think I'm right in saying. So this is a big month for Steve Bruce, and that's just disappointing now. Big night now on Tuesday night, massive.
It's the same as last year. It's the same tactics, the same way we play, with different players. It's the same.
I think Brentford look fearless. They're 2 wingers. Whether they spotted a weak link in the back, whether the pace of John Terry, because there's a couple of balls over the top, which I think he was caught out a couple of times, but he's got enough quality to have read it, so we got away with it. I can't remember us having a shot on target second half or first half.
I can't remember their keeper touching the ball, to be honest.
Well, he's had a day out at Villa Park. You know, he's come to a big ground. He's got a clean sheet. It's a good day for him.
I don't understand the tactics. in the first half. I know we came out slightly more in the second half, but we just sat back. It was so frustrating for all of us to see.
Like, we're getting run over in midfield. Like, not even run over, that's been kind to Villa. We're getting steamrolled in midfield. We've got Lansbury on there, Snodgrass, and they can't even bother to beat him. I'm not a Lansbury fan. He's been a bit poor, but please, get him on, Gabby. He tried, but we need midfielders, and the midfield has been shocking.
Once we get these lower teams to come, you have to do the job. You don't have to like say welcome to Villa Park. Hope you have a nice game. You have to go in there and do the job, and that's get 3 points. 3 points for whoever comes here, and then we're not really doing that. I just don't understand. I mean, fair, Brentford played well, to be fair. They look good going forward and that, but we just didn't really do well, really, did we?
Well, let's face it, we're the big draw in the Championship, aren't we? Yeah. Like, this is their cup final. They will come here, they will attack us, and we just sort of... Bruce sets it up and says, come and have a go at us. He doesn't... You said, let's get the wheels off this, let's go for it, let's play 4-4-2, play Hogan up with Davis, go for it. We don't have a driving midfielder. We haven't had a driving midfielder since Delph.
If we want to get promoted, we should be beating Brentford. If we can't beat Brentford, I can't see us beating Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Norwich and the teams like them. And if we can't beat the big boys, then how are we going to get promoted?
Half an hour into the game, Brentford string 15 passes together on the edge of our box. Bruce was stood there, hands crossed, not barking any orders. He doesn't know how to change it. So if he comes out in the post-match interview, defends the team today and doesn't say we played rubbish, then he's got to go.
With the sort of Bruce out brigade, I get it to a degree, but I think with our club here, we have to have consistency. There are going to be lots of downtime, but at some point it will turn. Whether that's this season, whether it's next season, we have to have consistency, because chopping and changing every 5 minutes doesn't work. If we did get rid of him and have another manager in, that's still going to be Bruce's team. It's still the same mentality. We've got to start having a bit of confidence, and we've got to start attacking and just we're scared all the time, and we've got to be fearless. We've got to be going at teams, and like these young players like Davis, which we've seen before, and they've got that sort of that tenacity, and they're not scared of making a mistake. Whereas when they sort of develop here and we get on their backs, then they're scared, and then you see that, which is what we've had: 11 players that don't want the ball.
Right, you've got Davis up front who holds up play really well, but we sit so deep. He's got to hold on the ball for 3 to 4, 5 seconds before these players come into play, which is hard for a young lad. It's hard. You've got to be top draw to do that, and we can't do that. We cannot sit so deep all the time and just expect to put it up to Davis, him to hold this ball. It's impossible. It's impossible for a young lad to do.
There's a lot of pressure on Keenan Davis at the moment. He's a young kid, he's still got a lot to learn. The next game against Middlesbrough, I reckon we should play Keenan Davis and Scott Hogan up front and see where the experience comes from there.
Plan A's not working. I don't think he's got a plan B or a plan C. It needs that midfield needs to be changed a little bit. I think Jedinak has definitely got to come in now. I think Whelan's dead on his feet. I don't think the internationals helped Whelan, and that's not an excuse. Well, they should be doing that, but definitely Jedinak should be coming in. Kodja, I've heard about what he's going to be like playing for, hopefully 45 minutes on Monday, then be on the bench. That might get the crowd hopefully back on side, but at the moment the crowd is very disheartened, as you can see today.
Sam Johnston's the one who stood out for Villa, the only one to really come out with any credit. How did you see him?
Yeah, he deserves a lot of credit. Made some great saves. I know it's a gripe of yours, but the difficulty is he's having great games here. And what happens next season if he keeps doing that? Yeah. He ain't going to be a Villa player next season, and then we're back to square one. So, yeah, he had a great game, but other than that, we've got a point. That's the only positive, isn't it? That's it.
He was the only bright spark, really, in the team today. He kept us in the game. We're thanking him that it was 0-0, really. Other players... No, it's just really Sam Johnston was the best player, really. There was no other good players.
Today, he proved all his doubters wrong, in my opinion. I mean, there were still people who claim he shouldn't be our first team goalie, but without him today, we would have been losing 3-4-0. Simple as that. And I think today he proved that he definitely deserves to be starting in that place, and that there's a reason why we got him and why Bruce wanted to get him on loan.
Real difficult ask for the fan cams today. I was a bit lost for words myself, as were some of the guys we spoke to. It was just a really, really bad and disappointing day at the office from Villa. We didn't really offer anything of encouragement to the fans. We didn't really give them anything to get behind today, other than Sam Johnston, who I said in the podcast has been our player of the season so far. There's no real positives from a Villa point of view, which into September now, at the start of a really, really big month for Villa. That's a really disappointing thing to have to come here and say. We go on to Tuesday now, absolutely massive game against Middlesbrough game. Steve Bruce and Aston Villa simply have to win. If we're not winning our home games, we're going to be in for a very, very long season, because I'm not convinced the away form's ready to be turned around just yet. Brentford passed us off the park. Ryan Woods, I mean, he just ran the show. That's the third game in a row now that Ryan Woods has played against Villa, and he's ran the show. I don't know why we didn't sit anyone on him, because that's, as I say, that's 3 times he's absolutely bossed the game. And Brentford were the better team today. We should have lost the game. We're coming here lucky to have taken a point, so we're coming away from the game very, very disappointed, but knowing that it actually could have been worse. And again, that's a really disappointing thing to have to say. Seems a bit weird to ask for likes after a game that was so disappointing, but if you could give this video a like, it would be appreciated by all at the Villa View. Comment below with what you thought of the game. What would your plan be going into Tuesday now? Who would you want to see lining up in the claret and blue? If you're not already a subscriber, then please subscribe to the Villa View with your post notifications on, so you get all of our videos before anyone else. Big ask, but stick with the Villa, stick with the channel, up the Villa. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.